Again, always presented by GMWorldWideRadio.com. And we back on the video side. Now, before we get into the deep set, I would like to also say that Andre Villanueva came out and said that he threw his teammates under the bus, that the original plan was for everybody to stay in the tunnel, but he got pressured by ex-military members and family to go out because of where the venue was being played at the game. Again, no matter what happened on Sunday, I understand Andre Villanueva's problem with being on either side. Again, he was an ex-military member. A lot of his fame in the NFL is based on that. Because honest to God, he's an offensive lineman. If he wasn't an extra Army Ranger, y'all wouldn't know who he was. Mm-hmm. Saying that, I don't think the team or Mike Tomlin should think that he should be able to yes, the team is his family. The military and the bonds he made with those people in Afghanistan are also his family. And he has to make the choice on his own on what's more important. And I'm not here to judge on what's more important either. I'm not. The thing is, I know Andre Villanueva knows why people are protesting during the national anthem. As long as I know Andre Villanueva knows that, I don't need him to be part of it like that. Mm-hmm. He's not ignorant to what's going on. He's not out here telling people that they're jackasses or they should just shut up and do their job. He ain't do none of that. He just wants to stand for the flag that he fought for, and I don't blame him for that. I feel like we taking this argument, the argument between the flag and what is racially inequality are two different things. Nobody is out here disrespecting the flag on purpose. At least I'm not. And y'all gonna have to tell me who is. Actually, I take that back. LaShawn McCoy is. You see LaShawn McCoy this weekend?
No.
All right. So LaShawn McCoy took it too far. LaShawn McCoy didn't even stop. When they started playing the national anthem, he was stretching and shit. Still, stretching, doing his whole routine and shit. He didn't stop. He went through the whole national anthem, stretching, lunges, and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, that's disrespectful. My thing about the whole protest is everybody protesting is still stopping what they're doing and looking or facing the music. The thing is either face the flag, face the music of where the music's coming from. Everybody's still doing that. It doesn't matter if you're sitting down, kneeling, or standing. Nobody's disrespecting the flag. My thing was, it would be disrespecting the flag to me if you just turned your back to the flag or the person singing the Star Spangled Banner. That's disrespectful. If you just turned your back and just stared at the fans, that would be disrespectful. Not just kneeling or whatever. Like I said, a lot of y'all obviously have different opinions because I've seen what y'all been doing on IG and Twitter today personally about how y'all been treating the Steelers and Mike Tomlin especially. You know how many people want Mike Tomlin fired?
It's not as he's not protected by the union like the players are.
No, but he still get paid. That's the thing about coaches' contracts is they get the majority of their contract that they get fired.
Okay.
What's the point? I don't know what's going to happen. Everybody says they're going to go after sponsors and get sponsors to change something. I'm like, what do y'all want to happen? This is what happens in my eyes. If the Steelers does something drastic. Ben retires. Le'Veon Bell leaves at the end of the season.
Yeah.
This is a trickle-down effect of, well, I don't want to play for the Steelers no more. Because honest to God, that's what happens to me. The Steelers to me are one of the top teams in the NFL that can get players to come to play for a team that plays in cold weather or shitty weather at that. Because to me, that was always my dream in the NFL. Well, if I'm going to go play in the NFL, I need to be below the 48 or below the Mason-Dixon line, but west of the Mississippi. Because I'm still anti being in the South. I'm not ready to go back. They still whipping niggas, which if you've seen the news, they kind of still whipping niggas. Seriously. So yeah, that was always my thing. Is I need to be Southwest. The old airline. So yeah. I know I was bougie about it. I'm like Jim Kelly. You ever watch the 30 for 30 about Jim Kelly not wanting to go to Buffalo, so he went and played USFL in Houston? That's exactly how I'd be. I'd go play arena football if they told me, oh yeah, you can go play in San Antonio. Oh, well, yeah, Green Bay just drafted me. I think I'll go play in San Antonio. Is that real? I lived in Pittsburgh my whole life. I don't need to be playing in snow. If I was in the NFL.
No, I don't really want to. Steeler football is the most difficult. You got different.
I've been in that stadium on the inside part, not the river part, the part that's facing in towards the north side. Mm-hmm. I've been in that stadium December 7th, watching a football game. It's not fun. Like, I don't even get it. Like, after it goes below 40 degrees, sitting in a stadium and watching football is not fun. I'd rather watch a game in like 75 degrees and rain, like pouring down rain, before I go down there. And there was no snow that day. It was just cold. Like, it's too cold. And I don't care if there's 70,000 people in that stadium. There's not enough body heat to make it warm in there. It just ain't. And it's like, well, everybody's shoulder to shoulder sitting around in this big ass stadium. Maybe it's going to radiate like a decent amount of heat. No, you're still cold. Half of you motherfuckers came out in jerseys. I went to wear this shit because it was a Steelers-Dallas game. I had a hoodie, I had a long sleeve shirt, a hoodie, and I put my Rams jersey over like everything. Like, my Rams jersey got put over like 4 layers. And then niggas are staring at me wearing a Rams jersey at a Steelers Cowboys game. And I'm like, I don't care what I'm doing. Like, I'm not going to this game. I'm not walking into a football stadium to watch professional football without y'all know who I rep. This is what it is.
Yeah.
It looks weird, and I see it at Steeler games currently all the time where people come in with gear from different teams. You know what happened? Somebody was like, yo, you want to go to this game? Yeah, but I still need y'all to know I don't rep any of these teams.
Yeah.
Back over to the real serious issues again. Like I said, Andre Villanueva came up and said he was the reason that everything went wild because the team had agreed to all stay in the tunnel, and he decided not to because of his personal beliefs. On top of that, the Texans and not Texans, damn, used to be in Texas, but now are the Tennessee Titans and the Seattle Seahawks both also did not go out to the field to participate with the national anthem. Mm-hmm. Again, I know Jacksonville stood in locked arms with the team and the players and personnel for the national anthem. Again, this is the biggest protest in sports history for a single weekend. It'll never get this big. Unless Donald Trump says the N-word. Which I'm waiting for.
But that's not sports. That's just general. That would be everything. That's not that's just takes it for that's weeks on weeks right there. I mean that's me, but
also LeBron James came out and said if he owned a football team, he'd sign Colin Kaepernick, which is like foresight to me. Like, yeah, well, if you could. So, but no, like I said, it's nice to see, like I said, issue with anything. Like, I'm not as passionate about any of these issues anymore as everybody else is. I guess I never was. And this is coming from a person from Pittsburgh with the name Jordan. Shout out to Jordan Miles. Like, I understand how real it is. It's just I can't get as emotional about it as everybody else does. But I've seen how the city is because we have tons of burnt. I've seen videos of burnt jerseys, terrible towels, hats. Some old man who I know is a Vietnam vet, so I'm not going to get too deep into it. I saw a video of this old dude. It looks like he's like 70 or 80 years old. I'm surprised he didn't catch his flag on fire because he was really close. He put up like, I guess he did the cross, like where you put the sticks together and put up his cross and he put the shirt over the cross part. Mm-hmm. Then he put a hat on the top and he burnt that shit down. I think a Timmons jersey, which he's not even on the team.
No, yeah.
And a really crisp fitted hat. It was like white and silver. It was crispy shit. Burn that shit around. I'm hearing reports of tons of stuff being left around Heinz Field today between jerseys, memorabilia, pictures, and stuff like that. Most of the jerseys are damaged before, though. Like, they're bringing back jerseys to the stadium, but they're cutting them up into pieces. So
you would donate on the people?
Hey, you could have donated. We were talking about burn and.
So
come on down and just
the Rooney's here. You know, the Rooney's just passed away. Y'all disrespecting the Steelers.
Oh, yeah.
What about that? We disrespect the Steelers. It's like a terrible town. Who disrespects that?
Yeah.
Before I get to my next
ain't part of this.
Burn jerseys. Oh, that's just.
This is Unfiltered. A resident savage, not like Boink Gang level, but I'm a savage. No, but y'all niggas out here on social media are Boink Gang level. You know how many fucking memes I've seen of either the Chief or Dan's grave, and it says he's rolling in his grave? Many times today, where people posting that meme like it's either the Chief's grave or it's Dan Rooney's grave, the son that passed away this year. Mm-hmm. And they're like, "Oh, he's rolling in his grave." I'm like, sensitive, savage pieces of shit. Like you just said that a man who either recently died or a man that died 40 years ago is rolling in his grave. Anybody's rolling in their grave, that means you must be passionate about something, and there's no reason to be this passionate about this specifically. So no, that I can't believe that. So that's a rough one. For me to believe that people were out here just playing with people's names like that. All over Donald Trump. And you also remember that we have a president out here that based most of his political career off of tweeting.
Yeah.
Was y'all cool with that? Not you, obviously. I don't think we'd be sitting here if you voted for Trump.
No, I don't. Was it 16 posts over just the weekend, just about sports? Not concerned about like people down. I don't know. Maybe we really don't consider it a state, even though it should be a state. Puerto Ricans on there, or we got you. We
Oh yeah, shout out to Puerto Rico. Yeah, Puerto Rico's what's up. Shout out to my homie Chris Martinez. Hope all your family is cool. Puerto Rico gets the help they need. Again, y'all are American citizens. Y'all get the same rights that we do. All y'all don't have to do is pay taxes, which might affect how y'all get treated. But still, the U.S. government made that a thing, not us. So yeah, no. Shout out to Puerto Rico. I hope everybody down there is safe. And if you lost any loved ones, RIP. And there's better days. I can't really get fully religious with it, y'all know me, but there will be better days. One last thing before we move on from the political spectrum on this, because I just don't want to talk about this. It's just not my background. Shout out to the Penguins. They accepted the bid to go to the White House after the Warriors turned it down. Everybody seems a little over. They don't know how to feel about this. I'll tell you how I feel. I didn't look it up, but I think like 70 to 80% of the Penguins roster is not from America. This isn't their fight. If you want to be mad and say that it should be their fight, that's fine. But as a person that likes to worry about self-preservation a lot, this ain't their fight. And I'm a big self-preservation type of person. That sounds like really shady, but like there's a certain point where like if I think I'm going to die because of a decision you make, you're going to die alone. So how do you feel about the Penguins going out and well, they haven't gone yet, but setting up their date to go see Mr. Trump?
Seems cool, I guess. I mean, I feel like it's not a big deal. It's just kind of like team. It's the city's team. You know, that's the Pittsburgh Penguins. That's our team. Represents more or less us to some extent. You know, it's just pretty much like, it's like what, an honor to go see the president. It's not that big of a deal.
You know what? I've noticed this about baseball. Out of every sports that you could have, say, represent your city, I feel like, not baseball, hockey. Out of every sport that represents your city, outside of like maybe being in Detroit, hockey least represents the city to me. Out of like, we only have 3, but I would pick the Steelers in a winning sense and the Pirates in the sense that we'll try no matter what before the Penguins on how I base what Pittsburgh is about. I don't know why. They're out here winning titles, but I still look at the Steelers as Steelers, and then the Pirates is like, well, if you're sorry, you like the Pirates.
Yeah.
But
no, it wasn't. No, there was more people at the parade than the whole city of Pittsburgh came down for the Penguins. I mean, just like the fan base alone.
You know, back-to-back Stanley Cups. I understand that. No, I was at that damn parade. I understand that. It's just it never felt to me like the sport. Like think about it. Every other year they try to put something else in Consol Energy Center with them. At one point they were rooming with an arena football team.
Yeah.
This year they'll be sharing the arena with Robert Morris's basketball team.
Okay.
Robert Morris is going to play most of their home games in the Consol Energy Center this year.
Why?
Like that's why they never seem just happy with the Penguins being in there.
Mm-hmm.
So. But no, like I said, the Penguins made the right decision to me. I feel like no matter what, every team's gonna make the right decision because I don't think any team is making bad decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't feel either. Like I don't like to me. I've told y'all before. Give that man his 4 years, unless y'all find a reason that really impeach him, and then move on. Because the second he leaves office, everything he says is voided to me.
Yeah, nobody cares. But I'm
gonna treat him like y'all treat Obama now, because y'all just treat Obama like he wasn't there. So yeah, that's how I feel. We're gonna jump or AKA transition over to a different sport and topic in the world. I'm gonna wait till Brick is here to get deep in it. But Carmelo Anthony was officially traded from the New York Knicks today after the worst saga ever for a player in a franchise trying to figure things out. If you remember when this all started off, it was the Knicks. It was Carmelo's Amari Stoudemire. They thought they were going to make it work. Amari Stoudemire was never healthy. Melo was by himself. They picked up the unicorn about 2 years ago. The unicorn's not even happy either. If y'all know who the unicorn is, that's Kristaps Porzingis. Like I said, man, the Knicks weren't looking good. So Melo's traded to the OKC. Woo, they'll be like the 4th best team in the West.
That sounds about right, yeah.
Proved to me that there's only 2 teams in the East. Every time the player leaves the East, I understand that the East just became worse. It's Paul George traded from the Pacers to OKC. That's another star from the East. Melo's kind of a star, so he gets left the East. The only people left is Kyrie, Isaiah Thomas, and LeBron James. Oh, my bad. I'm shading. Shout out to John Wall down in Washington. That's like the only other team. So I got 4 teams that I think could win it in the East. Cleveland and Boston are my guarantees. Like, those are the guys that are for sure. Mm-hmm. And then I'll take Washington with the Wizards. And I can never count the Miami Heat out just because it's Pat Riley. So those are my 4 squads. But I can name like a laundry list on the West. Like, there's more than 8 good teams on the West. And that's how many teams made the playoffs on the West are 8. And I know there's more than 8 good squads. So it's going to be interesting about that. But yeah, how you feel about Melo finally getting traded?
It's about time. I mean, why go somewhere? Boy, there wasn't really much of his choice, I guess.
No, you get traded. It was Melo's choice because Melo had a no trade clause, so he had to agree to it.
Okay. Oh, so then all right. You could have stayed in the East to kind of like keep it like a little bit even. You have more of a chance, but like West, you're fighting at that point to get up to, just to make them to the playoffs. But the OKC's already a playoff contender, so you're pretty much set. So you're getting pushed up at least 1 or 2 spots.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a good move, but it's gonna be tough. It comes down to.
Oh yeah, I mean, everybody's out here saying they're ready for a challenge. My thing is, y'all gonna kill each other to lose to either the Warriors or Cleveland in the end. Mm-hmm. I still think Paul George is only going to be there for 1 season because he just got traded to OKC this offseason too. I still think he's leaving at the end of the year and going to the Lakers. So to me, this is OKC trying to find a way to win now because I think everybody's contract is up, except Melo. I think Melo will be stuck there for another 2 years. Westbrook's contract is kind of almost up, and then Paul George is up. This is like OKC's just swinging for the fences to try to get one more good try.
I mean, it's good. Yeah.
Back over to the local news, Jeanette played Imani Christian Academy this weekend. If you do not know where Imani Christian Academy is, like I didn't, you will find out that is actually in Wilkinsburg.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that. Oh.
Never heard about it either, but this is the problem. So they played Jeanette in Wilkinsburg this weekend, and apparently Jeanette was whooping that ass. To the point that the Wilkinsburg fans started to get a little rowdy, and including the bench of the Imani Christian Academy, to the point that police had called. So they had to wait for police to call, and then the second time they had a problem with the game, they canceled the game. Like they stopped the game the early 4th quarter.
What are they doing? What's going on?
Okay, so again, it's like it's not clickbait because I'm ignorant to the idea that there's a Christian Academy in Wilkinsburg. That's my fault. Saying that, when I'm reading this article, I'm full blown reading through this article thinking that it's like what happened with Woodland Hills Bethel Park last year.
Oh.
I was thinking it was one of those. I'm thinking Imani Christian Academy. This must be the whitest place on the planet. I'm wrong. Yeah. This is me being ignorant, and I'm open, and then I'm ignorant to something. Apparently, Imani Christian Academy is like a mostly black Christian academy in Wilkinsburg.
Okay.
Which doesn't change anything to me being just like a closet, what is it? I don't know. But yeah. So yeah, the game ended 54-36. Again, it had to be stopped in the 4th quarter. There was over 37 penalties by both teams combined to flip to 341 yards worth of penalties. Again, they canceled the game in the 4th quarter because Imani Christian Academy fans and players were starting to seem to want to fight the players on Jeanette more and more after the ensuing. I mean, they actually 54-36 isn't terrible.
No, but that's a fair game.
I mean, but letting up 54 points in any game is bad. I don't care if it's close or not. Like you can't be letting up 54. But yeah, like I said, I was ignorant to the idea that Imani Christian Academy was actually in Wilkinsburg. So whenever I was reading through the story and figured out where this place was, I was like, oh. Yeah, they might not take getting their ass kicked by the Allen County school that well.
Yeah.
I said, Wilkinsburg police were called for that. I found out that Imani Christian Academy was in Wilkinsburg. We all learn new things.
Yeah,
I've heard about the school a couple times. I always thought it was some school like out in Greensburg or out in nowhere, like Indiana.
Yeah.
Like I had no clue there was still a active school in Wilkinsburg that was not city affiliated.
I was gonna say, is that considered WPIAL?
Yeah, it's WPIAL. Okay. No, it's Class 1A WPIAL. It's a small school. Okay. But they apparently are like the third or fourth best team in that section.
Because I thought Jeanette was like a double A or something.
No, Jeanette's single A. Jeanette's small. They play in the same conference as Clarendon. Jeanette and Clarendon have run that division for years.
It's a double A too.
Okay, I don't know where you're getting your high school. You know how small the town of Clarendon is?
Clarendon is a city.
Okay. You understand how small the city of Clarendon is?
It's a third-class city.
He is right. It is a city. I won't change it all like that.
It's not that small.
It's small enough for me to be able to mistake. First thing, half the population is at Steelville. Or the Coke plant. I'm at the
Coke plant. There's some back streets. You got Large. I think Large is part of Clarendon School District. I think. The
school district and the borough are two different things.
The city.
The city and the school district are two different things. I know it because I went to a school district that had four boroughs in it.
Yeah. But I thought the Clarendon's fairly big, but
it has one of the smallest school districts in the state of Pennsylvania. It's like the third or fourth smallest school district in the Pennsylvania.
Okay.
But
I know it's like that.
But yeah, like I said, it's just a wild thing with the Imani Christian Academy and Jeanette this weekend. A lot of high school games don't get canceled, especially for the reasons like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you think there's gonna be more of an issue? Like I said, last year, Wilkinsburg and Bethel Park had issues. That was more along race lines. Imani Christian Academy and Jeanette are just, I guess, beefing on the fact that Imani Christian Academy thought they had some hope.
They didn't.
I feel like that's what happens when you fight like that at the end of the game, whenever it was kind of close, and then they start getting out on you again, and you start fighting. It's like you thought it was going to be close. Like in your mind, y'all thought y'all had a chance, and then when y'all stopped having a chance, you got angry.
And yeah, you guys are sore losers. That's all.
Also, next to the Steelers, I think the second most hated person in football this weekend for the exact opposite reason was probably Ray Lewis.
Ray Lewis.
Because Ray Lewis finally came out with the team of Baltimore and England this week and kneeled for the national anthem.
Oh, yeah?
We all forget that Ray Lewis talked down on Colin Kaepernick for kneeling. This is before Colin Kaepernick's girlfriend called him racist. So yeah, just think about that. Like I said,
Ray change of heart.
I always tell people, there's only two ways to look at this. You'll either be on the good side of history or the bad side of history. You just make a choice. I think Ray finally made his choice. Now, I'm not going to call him Uncle Tom or anything because some people was out here calling him like, what that saw meme of Ray Lewis, and it was like he was Samuel L. Jackson and Django. Like that's how people were talking about Ray Lewis right now. I'm like, ugh. I know if that was me, I'd be like Chris Rock in Longest Yard. Like I gotta beat somebody else to get my credit up. They got me at half a star. That's what I feel like they got. Ray Lewis went from me in one of the top 5 most angry history. Like I'm talking up there with like LT, the linebacker LT, not the running back. I fuck with the running back when I'm talking about the linebacker. I'm talking about mean and Dick Butkus type dudes. Right, and now we're down to. Well, Ray Lewis is a little bitch ass nigga. And people feel comfortable saying this. Like,
it's like Barkley. He was a great player. The stuff he said off camera kind of.
The difference is I still think Barkley's ready to hit a nigga.
I think so.
But it ain't always for the right reasons.
I mean, no. Has Barkley ever done something physically somebody for the right reasons? Like even when he was playing basketball. Okay, never mind. No, Shaq deserved that shit. Like I actually, whenever he did that to Shaq, I kind of wish Shaq. Like I wish he could. He's fully right because he still be talking shit to Shaq. I think it was on the show a few like oh no, he said he basically told Shaq to shut the fuck up before we could square up. He told Shaq he couldn't fight. He said Shaq couldn't fight. But yeah, like this year, I know Charles on the national TV because they got an argument about something. And like it got to the point where Charles was like, "I don't even care about none of this. You can't fight. You want to square up?" And I was like, everybody just stopped and they're looking around like, "Wait, did Charles Barkley just threaten Shaq for real?" And in my eyes, I'm like, it was for real. I don't think Shaq took it serious enough.
No.
Charlie was about it. And that's always what I noticed about that man is Charles Barkley is about it.
But they give it work.
Yeah. Like,
oh shit.
I'm always remember Charles Barkley is the same person that raced a fucking referee at the All-Star game a couple years ago, like that geriatric 90-year-old. Yeah, I was gonna try to. I mean, it wasn't Birdman Wayne. It was like the Italian style.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just trying to make it okay, man. I fuck with Barkley. Yeah, I justify it.
It's greeting or whatnot.
In other news, because I never thought the man was coming back. This is like far, far away. But me and him went to his concert the last time he came here. He says we almost got shot. I say we were like 5 blocks away from where the gunshots happened. We weren't that close. When we heard about it, we kept it moving, though. I'm not going to stunt. But Young Lean is coming back in February 10th to Spirit Hall. Somebody tell me where the fuck Spirit Hall is.
Spirit Hall is
okay.
Okay.
See
it.
it.
We went to the One Hood event and someone else was out here recently.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's for the Seagull Freeway game.
Okay.
No one has seen your artist up close. If you want to catch your artist up close, then we go to Spirit Hall.
Yeah, Young Lean will be back. Pittsburgh, PA, again, the Swedish rapper, killing it out of like I said, I like him. His style to me is a little more mumble rappy, but I can deal with his mumble rap over, So yeah, he'll be back in the city again. I never thought he was coming back because they shot at him last time, even though they figured out who did it and everything. But yeah, they were. I'm sorry, man. If it ain't my hometown or Chicago, and I was famous enough to go touring, LA, y'all shoot at me. That's the end of me coming to your spot.
Yeah.
15 years before I come back.
15 years.
Swear to God, like y'all gotta learn how to act right. It'll be a good 15 before I show up in your spot. Like yo, you remember the last time Skyline performed in? Just because we talk about this all the time, Akron. Like, no, man. Remember what happened when they shooting at the homeboy? Yeah, it's been like 15 years. He's like an OG now. Yeah, he said it's gonna be his last tour. He said he's gonna come to Akron this time. Been 15 years. That's how I'd roll.
And then they'll be like, all right, we getting him.
It's not even bitch made. Again, self-preservation.
Yeah.
If y'all don't fuck with me, I ain't gonna keep on invading your city. That's like Meat Mill's going to Toronto. Stop going to Toronto. They don't want you there. The only people that want you in Toronto want to see you fail. That's how I put it. And that's how I look at it. If you didn't fuck with me, why am I going to keep on trying to come to your city? If you really fuck with me, just like a lot of artists, and it's not for the reason that I'm saying, but a lot of artists pick and choose if they're going to Cleveland or Pittsburgh. They don't usually do both. If I feel like if you're my true fan in the distance between Pittsburgh and Cleveland, you'll come out and see me in Cleveland. If I'm not from Pittsburgh and I didn't want to go to Pittsburgh anymore, and if you can tell it's been 3 or 4 shows, like he's been on 3 tours and Pittsburgh hasn't been on any of the tours, but he came out that first year, then you know what it is. Make sure you hit that trip to Cleveland or DC. I wouldn't tell you to go to Philly just because I don't know anything about going to Philly, but I've been to DC and I know that I will go to Cleveland one day for a concert. Probably rock, but I'll be in Cleveland one day for a concert.
I'll go to Bone Thugs in Cleveland.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm going to miss it this year just because of scheduling conflict. But I'd love to go see Cuddy in Cleveland.
Cuddy in Cleveland would be cool. MGK in Cleveland.
Who was the other dude? The B-Hamp? Not B-Hamp.
Ray Cash.
Was it Ray Cash? Yeah, I go see him in Cleveland because I know he was from Cleveland. He only had that one song, but like I'd see it.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, Bumping My Music. Bumping My Music was the shit. That's what I'm like. I'll go. It's like, hey, it might be one song, and then I hear a bunch of mixtape stuff I've never heard before. But I'll go up there and listen to Bumping My Music. And the remix, like I hold the remix, that was one of the few tracks of One Hit Wonders where I'm like, I kind of wish you had some more to give me. I know he probably came out with a whole CD, but I bet it was called Bump.
Overlooked.
I was also like 17 years old, 16 years old, probably even older, younger than that. Like, I think Bumping My Music came out when I was like 14. Because I could say I was in middle school when Get Low came out. And after that makes me feel old. Get Low was the shit. Now I'm like, wow, it's been over 10 years. Damn. Yeah.
Thanks.
Oh, no. I mean, no. We can give it to Malachi because that Sugar Hill Gang album you got was like brand new to him at one point.
Oh no, that's sad. All right. That was like typing his tail.
But no, I'm just fucking around. I always got to get my jokes. He's either got to be old or skinny when it comes to Malachi. But I always get him in or Memphis. We got to talk about Memphis. But yeah, see, I feel like he'd be even saltier if I said something about Memphis than he said something about him being old. Like it gets personal when I talk about Memphis. It's like Memphis, Bleak, and Siegel. I can't talk about them too.
That's my campaign. Bleak, Hall of Fame campaign. So, I'm just playing. Don't mean
okay. Back on the local side of things, this is off music and sports. Pennsylvania Senate Bill 251 has been put into tried to be passed in the Senate. For people that don't know, Bill 251, this is why y'all need to get in on this stuff, is a ordinance to allow police departments to use radar for speed enforcement. No. The only people in Pennsylvania that are allowed to, and Pennsylvania is like one of 3 states that don't allow regular people to do this now. The only people in Pennsylvania, so remember this if you ever get pulled, that can use radars are state troopers and highway patrol because they're technically state troopers. But municipalities are not allowed to use radars, meaning they have to use VASCAR tickets, man. Because after I learned what VASCAR was, I'm like, so wait, your VASCAR is you're trying to count in your head how fast it takes me to go from this spot to that spot every time. Yeah. We're going to talk about this in court every time. So he said I was going, what? And he did this from his eyes, and he wears glasses. When was the last time he had to check him on the eyes? Yeah. Like, I'm going so in depth. Like, I didn't know what VASCAR was for years. I didn't really know what VASCAR was until I got my license. Yeah, VASCAR, if you ever see the word VASCAR on a sign, because I always thought it had to be like a street version of NASCAR, because it was literally just an N replaced with a V. Yeah. It's something like that. Like I gotta look it up and watch a video.
Mississippi, yeah.
Again, it's either Mississippi or you count to 10, but the cop is wherever VASCAR means that there's a chance a cop is parked in this area because there's a dedicated point-to-point area where he's supposed to be able to count how fast you go. Which I'm like, Bishop, we don't like. You think horsepower is actual horses under my hood if you're doing it that way? That's what it's started. So people don't want this. Some people want this bill to pass, some people don't. I'm on the no because the problem with letting municipalities do this on their own is it lets them create speed traps, like legitimate speed traps.
Yeah. There's a spot where like they'll get everybody like you got 3 different like boroughs grabbing. And it's like, come on, like fuck you. So I don't want to get rocked by like 3 different boroughs or city included whatever. I'm not. We go fast.
The thing is when municipalities want to have speed traps, they usually just orient or constructed with the county, like what they do in South Park. Because the speed trap in South Park is legit. But they don't get the money from it. And that's where like a lot of people, there's this argument that I've heard for years where people think that police departments get a quota to do a certain amount of things every month to get money. If this, there will be more conspiracy on the idea, well, we wonder why there's like 15 checkpoints the last week of the month. They're going to question shit like that. Mm-hmm. To me, I do understand its safety. I do understand there's certain areas in the city, like 28 on the Allegheny side, they have problems enforcing that with speed. Yeah. I think this weekend they said they caught like 5 or 6 people going over 80, which we don't have any speed limit signs that go over 75 in the state. Again, I like driving. I do understand that this is not the Indianapolis 500. No. Again, this is not Midnight Club, the racing game. There are laws to this shit, and we got to respect the laws to this shit sometimes. Mm-hmm. Like I said, no matter how much we want to be like, fuck the police, fuck the law, there are laws for reasons, man. Yeah. I don't want to hear that shit when your family members gets T-boned by some dude going 95 miles an hour, and you're like, well, I was speeding last week. Like, it don't work that way. So, yeah, there are laws, but we got to make a decision. Like, my thing is, I don't agree with VASCAR. I don't agree with VASCAR at all.
Yeah.
So some point I do think that niggas need radars. So I swear to God, if I ever get pulled over and dude tells me he thought I was speeding off of VASCAR, I'm letting him know right now you better show up to that court date. Because some of the times the cops don't even show up because they don't think anybody's gonna fight it and you can beat it. Like, you better show up. You know what I mean? And you better have a whole story. You better tell them the blade of grass that went by when you started and the blade of grass that went by when it ended. So what was I was like, so how was your day? Said you had a sinus infection. Did you sneeze while I was going by? Like, yeah. I'm getting off of these tickets for VASCAR. It's the dumbest thing I ever heard. So, well, we are going to hit our second to last break for the evening. Like I said, we're going to come back. More straight up sports talk, fantasy football. Brett, I don't know if Brick didn't show up yet. For what reason? Why? Maybe it's because I'm giving him that work in the fantasy this week.
Oh, shit.
Hey, I had to get it. I was waiting for him, and now he ain't here, so I'm going to let him know. I am beating him like 158 to like 80 in fantasy right now. That's a blowout in fantasy terms. I think he's about to lose his second game this week, so I don't know what.
We're close. 8 points. 8 points from a kicker. Can it happen? We'll find out tonight. That's all.
I got 11 points out of my kicker, so I don't know why I'm out here just like straight shunning him. But like,
You just don't want me to get the W. That's all.
I went 0-2 the first 2 weeks. I need people to lose.
Yep.
Saying that.
Wait, hold up. I got what's it? We're one of the people we're doing a review for today. Fly Revolutionary Hustler. He has a show going on. Lese y Formos from Cuba. I'm sorry, I really fucked that up.
The thing is, if I would have fucked it up, I'd have had that fuck up with an accent. Like I'd have rolled R's and shit. Niggas would have been like, oh, that sounded correct.
But it's in 15 minutes, 7 p.m. Frick Fine Arts Auditorium, Shanley Drive, 650 Shanley Drive, Pittsburgh, PA. It's completely free. It's open to the public. Check it out if you don't want to listen to us.
Okay, where's that at?
That's right in Shanley Park, like right about.
Oh, okay.
It's right in Oakland.
Okay.
So it's at 7.
Is you need to put your app for the GMOY radio. If you're down there, you need to get the headphone in and pop one headphone in and keep on listening to the show, and then you just have your other ear out listening to Fly, so you don't. Yeah. Because we advertise everybody's shows, but you still need to be tuning in right here too.
Yeah. Just leave it in your pocket, leave it on, just cruising. Yeah. You can just listen to us. But I just want to make a shout out to you. You're having a show, so throw some. But yeah, I guess we'll be waiting on Brad so he can get that work in on and off the field.
Like I said, I know he didn't draft his own team.
Yeah.
I'm just want to play with him about it. But excuse me. But again, this is Unfiltered Worldwide Radio. This is Jay Skyline and James. Yeah, that was a deep burp right there, folks. We'll be right back. Here's some music on the radio side. Go get some food on the YouTube side.